I'm here today to talk about change. Not the temperature, not the price of gas, not the interest rate, not any of those things. We're talking about something that's a bit more fundamental. I come out of the baby boomer age where things were very clear. If you looked at the passport application, you got male, you got female. And what's this other box on the end? Whoops, we got another category, and it's something else. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, and queer. It's really a different world that we live in. And I got thinking about it, and I wanted to relay a story. And it involved one of my employees who worked for me about 5 years ago. Zach is his name, came to me from Seattle. I was filling an office position, and Zach interviewed with us. And Zach was is an incredible individual. Sometimes you just know, and you know in about the first 10 minutes, this is somebody just out of the ordinary. Skilled, personality, friendly, can do stuff. So Zach came to work for us. Stayed for about a year. And in about 2 months, Zach declared one day, you know, I have a nickname. Really? What is it? Weasel. Seriously, Weasel. Didn't know any other weasels. But for some reason, it just fit. It just fit. And for the next 2 months, everybody called him Weasel. During that time, I got to know Zach Weasel very well. And he disclosed to me that he was gay, openly gay. Fine, no problem, big world. It has nothing to do with what you can do. You can do stuff. Gay, bisexual, whatever, you can just do stuff. This is grand. And so we chugged along. We talked about all sorts of things in the LGBTQ community, and I started to see my window open up. The light came on. I came out of my cave a little bit. I thought I was always a very tolerant, accepting kind of individual. And then I started to learn about the Xbox. About 2 months later, Weasel made another declaration. He says, I'm transgender and my name is Maggie. Whoa, isn't this interesting? Doesn't change anything. He's still just doing this great job, but I can't call him him anymore. And I've got to start reorientating my pronouns. Well, in the last few months that Maggie worked for me, she took me down an educational view that I never imagined. It was positive, it was genuine, it was all those kinds of things. She was in a relationship with another transgender doctor that had come at the same time. And she talked about all the things that were happening in her life and how great and how hard sometimes these things were be. Eventually, she took another job down in Winona County in a personnel capacity. And it was a really good job, and I wished her well, and so on and so forth, and have taken points to stay in contact with her since then. Now, when she left, I was sad. Like any good employee, particularly those that you grow close to, I was truly sad. But I was heartened by one event that happened towards the end of her term with us. And this is after she had spent a fair amount of time telling me about a lot of different things. That there were 2 ladies that came in from Texas, and they were getting their motorcycle fixed. And they were in the process of just checking out, and they were standing there, and I don't know what possessed me to do this. But I said to them, you're a pair, aren't you? I only the friendliest way. And they smiled. Somebody had recognized it, respected it, and acknowledged it. And it was just a magic moment for a certain moment. And then Maggie walked around the corner. And Maggie, you could tell, was transgender. And all of a sudden, the girls looked at Maggie, and it was like lights went on, like the 4th of July. They were at home. They were in a place where people recognized them, and it was like unlike any other thing. Well, Maggie went on. I stayed in contact with Maggie, and Maggie has moved to the West Coast again. But what really brought this home was I was speaking and talking with Fozzie shortly after that. And he talked about an individual at Mayo that was transgender also. And then about 2 weeks later, he said that individual committed suicide. My, how sad this is. That something got to a point where apparently suicide was the answer. I can't imagine that. But also, it underscores this burden, this challenge, this yoke that many people carry who are at odds with their birth gender and feel a need to identify in some other form. And I think we as a society are very, very slow to be supportive. Some find it disgusting. Some find it intolerable. But I think we fail to recognize that these are flesh and blood people, just like everybody in this room. And they have something inside them that tells them and gives them a separate signal. And I think it's up to us, each and every one, to be as supportive as you can be. Maybe your beliefs don't go down that line. It's not important. You can be supportive. You can be a lot of different things. You can be a friend. Yes, a friend. It's not so hard. Be a friend. Help us bridge this male, female, whoops box on the end. Mr. Toastmaster.